Welcome to The Classical Mind, a podcast about the great books in the Western canon. We're your hosts. I'm Father Wesley Walker.
Dr. Junius Johnson here.
And we are back around to the beginning. I think, is it Hume or Hegel who says something like all circles end where they began? And so here we are at the beginning of another circle, which is exciting. We are about to embark on season 3 of The Classical Mind. And so that means it's time for us to do a draft of all of our picks for this upcoming year. And like we did last year, we'll do this back and forth. So I'll get a pick, you'll get a pick. Junius, I think it starts with me, right?
It starts with you this year, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You lost last season, so you got the lowest seed.
That's right. Okay, so I've made a list here in Notion, and that will allow us to see what we've picked so far, and it also help listeners, or actually viewers, be able to see what we've done. If you're listening to this, you'll just have to keep it all up in your head. All right. Any comments before we get started?
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
That's right. Don't mess up.
That's right.
So at the end of last season, I was kind of agonizing over what would be at the end of the season, and Intention by Anscombe won out, but this is my opportunity to go back and pick up what I did not select for last year. And so I will start the year off with Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin.
Wow. Okay.
Which I feel like is interesting. We have done a ton of medieval and classical works, and we're coming off of Nietzsche and going into, Anscombe and Nietzsche, and then going into Baldwin. So a little more of a modern emphasis here, but I like that. There are great books written in the 20th century too.
Wow. Okay, that's a strong start. And I agree, and I'm glad that we're getting some 20th century stuff in there. And I have a couple of things on my list that are going to push us a little bit more in that direction too, although we'll see what I wind up choosing. However, that makes me want to dial it back to the old world for my first pick. And I'm going to go with Plato, a classic. You can't go wrong with Plato. And I'm going to pick the Phaedo, which is the text where Socrates is just about, he actually drinks the hemlock towards the end of the thing. And so it's the actual death scene of Socrates when he's talking about the immortality of the soul.
Excellent. I'm excited to do that one. That'll be a lot of fun. All right. I'm going to do another kind of modern one and a controversial one. Are you ready for this? The Communist Manifesto.
Ooh, nice.
By Karl Marx.
That's a great choice. I'm really excited to talk about that because I was reading some Marx a couple of months ago. And you're going along. I was reminded of the experience of reading Marx if you do it without thinking about everything that happened after Marx.
Yeah.
You're just kind of reading along and you're like, yeah, like this is really plausible. Like there's a lot. This is a really important critique of economic systems and whatnot. But then, you get to these places where it's like, oh, and then you did that. So that'll be a great read.
It should be fun. I quite like a modern philosopher named Terry Eagleton, who is a Catholic sort of Marxist. And I don't agree with him on everything, but I think it'll be fun to kind of read the text again. So anyway, Communist Manifesto, that'll be right around Christmas time, sort of an ironic date to read that. Anyways, all right, Junius, what's your next pick?
The Communist Manifesto is like the classical mind cure for consumerism at Christmas time.
There we go.
Well, I'm going to go with the text by Walpole, who was a Gothic novelist, and I want to read The Castle of Otranto, Otranto, which is, he was a very influential figure on Walter Scott, whom we read some of last time, and this is just a really hilarious and delightful text that I really can't wait to introduce to people.
Oh, that sounds fun. And that's definitely one not a ton of people are going to be super familiar with.
Agreed.
Okay. Let's see here. I've got two fictions. Let's see. What era is Walpole? That will influence my...
so he is...
1700s?
Late 17th century.
All right. I feel like if we're going to read Communist Manifesto, I'm going to have to redeem myself with a good classical Catholic novel, and we're going to go with Love in the Ruins by Walker Percy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's one of my
Nice.
favorite. I love it so much, and I've been looking for an excuse to revisit it. So
Yeah,
let's do it.
I've not read much Percy, and that's one of those gaps that I have, so that'll be good for me. Well, if we're gonna do favorites and things that we like, why don't we come back with Bonaventure's Journey of the Mind of God?
Love it. I love Bonaventure, and that will be very, very fun. Excellent. Okay, so let's see. Where do we want to go from here? I
Now,
had a
don't forget
Plato.
about the listener choice options.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I think it's at June.
They
We'll
get
put that
two,
as
I
the
believe.
listener's choice. That's
Well,
right. You're
I
right.
suppose what's it's our call whether they get one or two, depending on how I've got quite a few good texts on my list still. So,
Let's save June for a listener's choice, and
okay.
we can always, if we need to audible during the year, we can always figure out a way to do that. I would like to do the Federalist Papers. I don't think we'll do all of them. We'll probably do a selection of them, maybe.
Okay.
But I think it would be fun to do the Federalist Papers in some capacity, so we can negotiate what exactly that will look like for later. But I think that would be important for us to cover. So the Federalist Papers will be April.
Okay. Well, clear of the election, so we won't get involved in your political choices.
Exactly.
Well, see, now you're making it hard because now we're coming down to it.
Yeah, I know. This is the last four.
Boy, oh boy. Okay, I really want to read this, and so I'm gonna put it on here so that I have to. Peter Pan, J.M. Barrie. And the reason why is because I read a couple years ago. I read Barrie's Dear Brutus because it features a fairy, and it was the first time I'd read any Barrie, and I was just blown away. And I've since read one of his novels, and his writing is just wonderful. And but I still haven't read Peter Pan, so this will give me a chance to do that.
Excellent. So then we'll save June for a listener's choice. All right, we got to complete it. First season we did do well, no, we haven't done the Odyssey, have we? No, we did the Odyssey maybe first, didn't we? And then we did the Iliad.
Right.
So I think we got to do the Aeneid.
Wow. Brutal, listeners, brutal. Very well. It's my last pick, huh?
This is it.
I have 3 great texts I want to pick from. Alrighty then. Well, I'm going to keep pushing myself, and I'm going to say Frankenstein, Mary Shelley.
Excellent. I'm excited for that one. It's a great novel. Okay. I will say, well, you know who hasn't made it on this season, who's been in every season, and so I think it's important that we honor him again, is let's do Taming of the Shrew by Shakespeare.
Nice. That is such a fun play.
Yeah, that's great. We've done some serious Shakespeare's. I think we did Macbeth in the first season, and then we just did Julius Caesar this season. And so, yeah, we'll get a taste of his comedies now that we've gone through some of his heavier and historical plays. So, listeners, if you are not watching and you're not able to remember everything that we picked in October, we will be doing Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. November will be Phaedo by Plato. December, The Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx. January, The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. February, Love in the Ruins by Walker Percy. March, Journey of the Mind to God by Bonaventure. April, we'll be doing a selection of the Federalist Papers. May, Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. June, we'll have the listener choice, and so we'll, a few months in advance, post open nominations, and then we'll take those nominations and put a poll in one of the newsletters. And so you all will get to pick. So be thinking as we go through this year about what you want us to do for that one. July will be the Aeneid. August will be Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And September will be Taming of the Shrew by Shakespeare. I feel pretty good about that list. What do you think, Junius?
That's a big list. Good job.
You too. You too. I'm looking forward to it as always. This is one of the more fun things that I get to do, and I always look forward to recording and doing all the reading. It's a blast. And so, listeners, thank you for joining us in this, engaging in conversations in the Substack community. We really do have a great group there, and have some very, very interesting conversations. And thank you for those who are able to financially contribute to the show. We really do appreciate that. And that helps us keep doing what it is that we need to do in order to keep this show on the road. All right. Well, we will see you next month then for Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. And then we will be getting into season 3. In the meantime, keep reading.